Welcome to Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial, the home for financial advice in a language you can understand. Created by Marc Freedman of Freedman Financial, he and his team of certified financial planner professionals will discuss timely topics that help individuals and families make smart financial decisions. And now, get ready for this week's edition of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial.
Welcome back to another edition of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial. My name is Marc Freedman.
And I'm Marion Gilman.
And we're here to provide you with some financial advice in a language you can understand. Here we are, the middle of fall, just a few more months away till the end of the year.
Kind of scary. It's going fast.
And we're also just a few weeks away until the election.
Yikes.
Everything is tight, right? It's one of these toss-up experiences.
Yeah.
There is so much, I call it political polarity that exists. I believe as Americans we agree on probably 85% of everything in this country, and it's that fringe stuff, the 15%, that people have some really strong opinions on, and it gets nasty.
It really does, and it creates a lot of controversy. So I don't know, it could be a good In my house, we don't talk politics at Thanksgiving dinner. So let's hope that everybody has a very pleasant Thanksgiving dinner. There's no political talk.
Well, think about, Marion, Thanksgiving, the election will be over.
I know, but
so
that could be even worse.
We can't talk about the next election. That's right. 4 years away. You just got to deal with it.
Well,
be thankful for what we have.
I totally agree.
You know, a few weeks ago.
And we have a lot.
Oh, yeah, we certainly do have a lot to be thankful of.
We do.
You know, a couple weeks ago, we hosted a webinar for our clients, bringing in two lobbyists from Washington, D.C., one a Democratic lobbyist, one a Republican lobbyist, sharing their perspectives and experiences on where they thought the election might go, how the impact of America might be depending upon which candidate wins the election, what the races look like in some of the really tough battleground states, what the Senate and House battles might be, and whether it could be. It was very, very interesting. And these are some of the value addeds, if you will, that we offer to our clients. You know, many people seem to think that financial planning is about investments.
And that's it. They think that's the investment person. That's what a financial planner does. And that is not true.
Yeah, financial planning to me and to us is, if you will, a pie. Imagine like a pie dish, and you put the pie in there, and then once you cook the pie, you got to cut the pie up into slices. One of those slices that you might take out is investments. But there's a lot of other slices, aren't there?
There certainly are, and they're all vital to your financial well-being. It's not just investments. You know, it is very important that you have the other aspects of financial planning in place in order to create a comfortable lifestyle throughout your expected time horizon.
Right. We often do it. In fact, in one of the rooms here in the office, I have a big sign that I use when I go to a lot of the schools to talk about the various roles that a financial planner can play in one's life. And of course, there's the investment guy. That's the easy one.
We do that.
But there's all of what I call risk management, all of the insurance that's necessary, right?
Which is critical. I mean, think about it. You hope to never have to use the insurance, but it's extremely necessary. I mean, you want to be sure you have that auto and homeowners insurance, because what if somebody falls on your property? What if you get in an auto accident and somebody sues you? Your life savings could be gone.
Right. Then there's life insurance, health insurance, disability insurance. Then, of course, there's taxes. Taxes play a critical role.
Absolutely. And, you know, the goal is to minimize taxes. Take advantage of any tax savings that you can along the way. Not, you know, we're always all going to pay taxes most likely. However, we can keep it in check.
Yeah, I find that far too many people that we talk to have a very minimal understanding of how the tax system works. They have some grossly misunderstood assumptions. They think they pay far more in taxes than they really do. They think the tax liabilities that they're going to owe are far greater than they should be. But what they also make the mistake of is when the accountant tells them that they owe money after they've done their taxes, that the financial planner must have done something wrong or the accountant did something wrong, because that's bad that they owe money. Marion, is that the case?
Not necessarily at all, because quite honestly, if you owe money, all that means is you didn't pay in enough over the course of the year. And that could be influenced by any one of a number of things. For instance, I mean, primarily you haven't had any withholding or enough withholding from either your paycheck or your Social Security or a pension, whatever it might be, income coming into the household. Required distributions, all of that is taxable income. So if you don't have enough withheld during the course of the year, you owe at the end of the year. Is that a bad thing? Who knows? I mean, honestly, in today's environment where you're getting 5% at the bank, not necessarily a bad thing.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So we've talked about things that a financial planner does: investments, insurance, taxes. There's
we don't do the taxes.
We don't do
no. We do tax planning.
Right. It's advice on those things.
Exactly.
Nor do we write legal documents, but
No.
we can give you some perspective
Right.
and some understanding of what a will does. What does a trust do? What is a healthcare proxy? What's a power of attorney? All
Right.
critical documents that people seem to have.
Absolutely.
Need to have.
And we've seen really challenging situations because these documents weren't executed in a timely manner. And we've seen people die without the appropriate documents. We've seen people get into accidents without having an appropriate power of attorney named. So remember, in those circumstances, guess what? You have no control over who manages your money, where it goes. I mean, the state actually will step in and make sure that relatives get the money. Who
Yeah.
knows what relatives those are?
But wait, we're still not done with the
I
things that a
know.
financial planner does. Now remember, if you're working with a person that holds themselves out as a financial planner and you're paying a fee for them to manage your investments and that's all you're getting, folks, you're not getting a true experience with a financial planner, because here's a couple other things that are even more important than all the other stuff we just talked about. It's called cash flow. How much money comes into your household and how much money goes out of your household, because without it, you can't make decisions.
That's right. And I mean, the number one question I believe we get asked is my money going to last? You know, what if I live to 100? Is my money going to last? Am I going to be able to live the lifestyle I'm living now throughout my retirement years? And if you don't know what's coming in and what's going out, you can never answer that question.
And some people just say, well, I don't want to know. Well,
Yeah.
That's nice when you know that there's a regular paycheck coming into the house.
Sure.
But when you approach retirement and that paycheck just stopped, how are you
Oops.
going to know if you have enough money to support yourself for the next 30 years of your life?
Or all of a sudden your paycheck gets replaced by a Social Security check, which is significantly less than what that paycheck was. What do? Where does the rest of the money come from that you've been living off of all these years?
And if you don't know the answers to those questions, it has nothing to do with
Scary.
what investments to buy.
Nope.
It's having the money. And then the other part is, how do you own it? So part of what's called your net worth, your financial well-being. Who owns what? We need to know that stuff.
That's for sure. And, you know, whether it's divided between spouses, whether it's in a trust. I mean, there are all kinds of, whether it could be in a retirement account, which is a little bit different as well. So you want to know how all of this is set up, and also whether there are named beneficiaries on those accounts.
So we've talked about 5 aspects of categories, if you will, of things that a financial planner does. We've talked about investments, which I think is the obvious one that everyone thinks about, insurance, taxes, estate planning, and cash flow and net worth. But there's one more piece to that puzzle where we spend more time doing anything else. And people oftentimes ask us, what do they ask us, Marion? What do they think?
Well, you know what? They actually are worried psychologically. They are worried that none of this is true, or they're really not going to be able to spend their money, or they're going to lose all their money in the stock market. I mean, there are just so many different things that people worry about that they need to be coached on, they need to have a better understanding of, and most of our time is actually spent with clients, helping them to understand better, to understand the ups and downs of the market to the rationale behind a lot of these financial pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times someone has come to us and they say, well, I'm back in for my therapy session.
Exactly.
And
It's
we are not
constant.
trained psychologists,
We
not
are
at all.
not.
But you know, generally people come to us for advice.
Right.
And advice is provided to clients when we sit and listen, we understand the big picture. We act as the fiduciary because we understand where everything is and what everything is worth.
And we also take a very personal approach. So clients who come to our office, sure, you know, we say, okay, well, everybody wants to be, you know, have an understanding of whether or not their assets are going to last throughout their retirement years. But they have very different goals of what those retirement years are going to look like. We have some clients that want to help grandchildren out with education, others who want to travel more, others who want to spend time with family. There are just so many variations. And we take the time to reach an understanding with the clients, get a clearer picture of what they actually want to achieve throughout the rest of their lives and help them reach those goals. And that is the most important thing. Sometimes it's not always the optimum financial decision. For instance, paying off a mortgage is a great
should I pay it
example.
off or shouldn't I? There's a financial reason for doing it, and then there's an emotional reason for doing it.
That's right.
And we got to work that through.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just better to go with, if the client is going to feel more comfortable, be freer to spend the money that they have, if they pay off that mortgage, you know what? It's worth its weight in gold.
And you know, one of the other aspects of what we do that falls under this whole category, whether it's insurance or others, is what we call employee benefits. And
Right.
this is an area that, you know, if you're working, you're provided a benefits booklet. And I'll tell you, most people don't really read the whole benefits booklet. And one of the things that people ask us to help them with is guide them on what are some important things within the benefits programs offered through their company that they can take advantage of. And Marion, what are some of those?
Yeah, and one of the things I also want to say is a lot of our clients have children who are just starting out in the workforce, and we're always happy to help out those children understand, or anyone in the family realistically, understand those benefits as well, even if they're not a specific client of the office, if they're related and within the family. Happy to do that. I mean, but one of the most important components when you're looking at your overall financial life is, how should we save? There are opportunities to save through your employer. There are 401ks, and there's a traditional 401k, or maybe if you're with a nonprofit, it's a 403b, but there's some type of retirement plan typically, or there's a Roth component sometimes to those retirement plans. So what's better, the traditional or the Roth? And there are also, and we've gotten a lot of calls about this lately, health savings accounts. Are these good? You know, what's the deal with a health savings account? So we try to help clients.
Why don't you explain how that works, Marion?
Yeah, the health savings account is something that allows you, it's a vehicle that if you have a high deductible health care plan, you're able to put money away each year, pre-tax, into a health savings account. There are limits on what you can contribute, and I had to write them down because for 2024, but an individual can contribute $4,150 into a health savings account. A family, it's $8,300, and if you're over age 55 or 55 plus, you can use a catch-up provision that allows you to contribute $1,000 more per year.
And this goes in pre-tax, right?
All of this goes in pre-tax. So first of all, remember, you're going in pre-tax, so you're saving on taxes right now. And the huge benefit to this is, if you, first of all, it can be invested typically, so there are investment vehicles you can choose if you're not going to use it all in that year, because it can be taken out for medical expenses anytime along the way. However, if you leave it in there and you don't take it out till after age 59 and a half, because you've built up balances, So later on, you can use it again for healthcare expenses. As long as it's used for healthcare expenses, it is never taxed. It comes out as sort of after-tax income. So this is an enormous benefit because the 401ks don't work like that.
Right. No, it's a great way to get tax-free money out.
Exactly.
I mean, you can use it.
In and out.
You get a health savings card. It looks like a credit card. You bring it to CVS, you bring it to Walgreens, whatever. You can pay for your prescriptions, you can pay for drug costs, you can pay for your doctor's bills, whatever it is, as long as it's medically related. And so these are the collection of, frankly, just getting started of things that we do as a financial advisor and as a financial planner. And one of the things that you may notice is that we really didn't talk about investments here, did we? It's one slice in the financial planning pie. There's so many other slices, so many ways to provide you the financial guidance you need to achieve financial success. And that's what we call financial advice in a language you can understand. If now's the time for you to get serious about your financial planning or investment management needs, give our office a call. 978-531-8108. That's 978-531-8108. Or visit us on the web, freedmanfinancial.com. That's Freedman.
2 E's and a D.
Financial.com. And you can sign up for our free weekly newsletter as well. Join the other 7,500 subscribers by going to the bottom of any page on our website. Put in your name, your email address, and boom, you will get it landing in your inbox every Friday at 10:30 in the morning. That's going to do it for us today. Everyone have a wonderful week. I'm going to be gone for the next couple weeks. We're going to turn it over to Marion and Christian to do our podcast. So look forward to hearing from them.
And Mark's going to be traveling. He's going to be having a great time.
I am. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
During today's episode of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial, your host may have discussed specific financial planning and investment ideas that are for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations. Please remember that investing involves risk and may include loss of principal. Always consult a certified financial planner professional, qualified attorney, or tax advisor prior to investing to determine what is appropriate for you. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.